All right, buckle up. Here is a super mega SEO course of some of the top strategies that the best websites, the best businesses are using right now to succeed, leveraging AI, leveraging SEO tactics that are actually working. So, in this course, I'm going to start with and go through common SEO mistakes killing rankings so you can avoid them. Then I'm going to talk about how to get a ton of backlinks to increase your authority, increase your ranking that way. It's still very, very important. Then I'm going to dive into 7 of the top SEO hacks working right now for some of the best businesses in the world. And then I'm going to dive into how to get a huge traffic boost, leveraging AI, leveraging some really, really good SEO strategies. And then I'm going to talk about rank and rent SEO, give you a demo on that if that's something that you want to implement in your business. And then last but not least, probably the best part of this entire course is I'm going to show you a super effective and easy way to steal your competition's SEO strategies. Strategies that they're probably paying $10, $15, $20, $50,000 for, you can steal and leverage them for your own business in a very easy and effective way. So let's dive in and start now. Still by far the number one SEO mistake I see. Good news is I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it today and fast, give you examples, give you a tool to help you, all the things that you need, because I want to help you grow your traffic and improve what you're doing. So most SEOs in 2025 still make this pretty rookie error because they're not used to tailoring how they are writing their content. You have to write your content for searchers, not search engines. This is definitely more of a shift now with Google's search generative experience, the SGE and AI overviews pulling instant answers. This mistake costs more than rankings. It costs trust, clicks, and revenue. So Google's latest core updates have doubled down on intent first content. So it's no longer enough to rank. Your content has to match the stage of the buyer journey. And that's exactly where you'll either gain clicks or lose clicks to AI summaries and competitors who understand the intent better. So here's an example for you. Let's just say you're targeting best AI website builder for small businesses in 2025. That's top of the funnel. That's not top of the funnel. That the searcher is ready to buy. So that's bottom of the funnel. Yet I still see pages that spend 1,500 words explaining what an AI website builder is instead of why your AI website builder is the best choice to buy right now. In some searches in 2025, they probably already have seen Google AI's overview giving them 3 to 4 generic options. So your job is to be one of the brands that answers better, faster, and more persuasively than AI box above you, the AI box above you. So here's kind of what I'm talking about here. So there's basically 3 types of content: informational, commercial, and transactional. Transactional is kind of what you want to shoot for because this is bottom of the funnel. This is more top of the funnel, informational. So this helps users find more information about their problem. Examples would be like Chicago rent prices, bed bugs symptoms, hotels, New York. And then commercial, helping people find more information about potential solutions users consider to buy. So this is like best iPad covers, types of laptop computers, compare Asus laptops, so things like that. And then transactional is help find places to buy their selected solution. So buy Asus ZenBook, cheap Asus ZenBook, buy iPad cover Chicago. So we want to focus more on the transactional more so than the informational, because this is bottom of the funnel. These people are super close to a buying decision. They already know kind of what they want. They just want to find someone to provide that for them. So if they search for AI website builder with CRM integration, don't explain what a CRM is. Explain why your builder's CRM features are better than competitors with examples, proof, and maybe even a quick case study. So think like Amazon. If you search for ergonomic office chair, you don't want the history of chairs. You want photos, reviews, specs, and a buy button. And here's kind of the next level thing is once you have those bottom of the funnel keywords, you can use a tool like Arvo to create amazing content targeting those bottom of the funnel keywords. And this way you can use it to show up in search results, show up in AI overviews. And it's also going to help you brand that content to your business. You can add in your own knowledge base, your own photos, any bits of information you want to help basically generate content. So here's kind of an example of what I'm talking about. There's a link below. You can try this out for free. You can go in here and create an SEO article. You can type in the keyword. You can give it the title, and this can be bottom of the funnel stuff, which is what you want to do. And here's a really good example of this for brakes, for like a mechanics. So your keyword is brake repair, right? That's the keyword, but the long tail search is going to be, my brakes are making a rattling sound. What should I do? So that is bottom of the funnel. People have a problem. They want to find the solution and find the person to give them that solution. So we're going to give them that with this SEO article. And it will include, you can include your sitemap, so it'll include internal links, it'll include excerpts, it'll generate pictures for you, or you can do your own with the alt text. It includes relevant YouTube videos, or you can do your own. And then the nice thing is it has FAQ sections at the bottom, which is really good for AI overviews, is really good for showing up in search. And you can create articles off of all of these. These are good article titles as well, bottom of the funnel titles, to help basically solve their problem, give them a solution. And then obviously it does the meta description, it does all the things. Whereas like if you write an article in ChatGPT, it's not going to have all the SEO backing, right? It's not going to have the alt text, it's not going to have the images, it's not going to have meta description. You have to do that extra work. This does it all for you. So this creates highly engaging SEO friendly articles, which is really good. So I would definitely try this with this strategy of more transactional bottom of the funnel keywords, and you're going to see your traffic and your customers explode, because there's still so many businesses not doing it this way. And because I like you guys, I'm going to give you some extra bonus tips for 2025, what's working really well right now to consider. So the first one is answer above the fold. So with SGE, attention spans are shorter, give the core answer in the first 3 to 5 lines. And that's where Arvo does a really good job, because it will it'll give them the answer right here, key takeaways and a brief description, which is what you want. You want to give the answer above the fold, give them the answer right away. Don't put fluff in the beginning of your content. Number 2 is use brand plus benefit headlines. It works better than generic keyword stuff titles. So brand and what is your benefit of the content? What are you trying to solve for? Number 3, leverage rich media. So add videos, charts, tools directly on page to keep people from bouncing back to Google. Again, Arvo does a really good job with this, because you can add in pictures. They automatically add in YouTube. They'll add in excerpts. Sometimes they will add in charts as well. So this works really well. Number 4, SGE optimized snippets. So write concise, factual sections that Google can lift for AI overviews, but make sure your brand name appears right there in the text. Again, you can do this with Arvo. All these FAQs are quick snippets that Google will pull out. And you can also edit this. So if you go in, click inside the article, you can edit with AI, and you can edit any part of this. So if you want to edit the snippets to include your brand or rewrite it, whatever the case may be, or you have an AI assistant over here, you can just ask it to rewrite, like include my brand name and all the FAQ snippets, whatever the case may be. So that's going to help you too. But that's what's working really well right now. If you want to not get filtered out, show up in AI reviews, show up in Google, improve your rankings, do those things. So this is probably the easiest way to get a ton of backlinks really, really fast. And as you can see here, here's a couple of businesses using this strategy to get a ton of backlinks. This business has almost 6,000 backlinks. Here's another one. They have almost 4,000 backlinks, which is a ton of backlinks. So they're not only getting a lot of traffic doing this strategy, which you can see the traffic boost here, they are also getting a ton of backlinks, which is rapidly improving their authority so they can continue to snowball this and get even more traffic. So I'm going to show you this full strategy with a special tool and some special prompts so that you can follow along and start implementing this in your business to reap the rewards as soon as possible. All right, here we go. So the easiest ways to get backlinks are through guest posting and link insertion. So guest posting is basically you reach out to websites, high authority websites, and you offer to guest blog post with your content. And then the goal is for them to link back to your website with a backlink. And then you will improve your authority and be super happy because you're going to get a lot more traffic, which is going to usually equate to more sales and all the fun things that we want out of our business. The other way is through link insertion. So it's kind of similar. You reach out to these businesses and you offer, or you ask them to insert a link in their content back to your content. Basically, they're going to need to know that you're a high authority source and that you have value to add to their content with a backlink. So this one's a little bit more challenging. The easiest win here is through guest posting. So that's really what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, who to reach out to, how to find people to reach out to, and then a tool to write this amazing content, because you're not going to want to use ChatGPT or Perplexity or any of those to do this, but you're still going to want to use AI, but an SEO friendly AI. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is find out who to reach out to do guest posting. So luckily for you, I have all of these amazing prompts that you're going to use Google for to find out who to reach out to see if you can get a guest post spot. And this is going to give you a ton of people to reach out to, which is going to basically be a numbers game. You're going to get a couple people to definitely reach back out to you if you're playing the numbers game. So these are the prompts that you're going to enter in. There's a lot of them. Again, if you want this list, just type prompt below and I will respond with this list so that you don't have to try and copy and paste this. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these prompts and then we are going to put it into Google and we're going to do a search with these prompts. All right, so let's just take the first one here and we're going to hop over to Google and we're going to just copy and paste this bad boy in there. So your niche is going to be your niche. So let's just put lawyer here, and it could be anything that's related to whatever you want to guest post for. Obviously it should be related to your niche. So the way that this prompt, or the way that this is, it's only going to give us the right for us pages for this particular niche. So right for us Colorado lawyer, right for us guest legal writing. So all these are accepting guest posting. So you're going to click in here and you're going to see, all right, what are the content requirements, outlines, and then you would click in and obviously submit your information to be able to hopefully get them to circle back with you and write for you. So there's going to be a lot of options here. You want to go in and make sure the website looks good, it looks reputable. If you want to take an extra step, you can go into Ahrefs and then you can go to resources and SEO tools, and then you can go down here and check the website traffic checker, type it in here and kind of see how much traffic the website's getting. That's really what is key. If you want to check the authority, you can. These are the free tools at Ahrefs to take this to the next level. Or if you just want to eyeball it and it looks good, all right, that's fine too. Again, this is going to be a numbers game to see who will respond back so that you can guest post. So there's a bunch of different prompts here that you can use. Right for us is probably one of the best, but there's a lot here that you can try if you're not getting a lot of feedback. So this is step 2. Put the prompt in, figure out who you're going to reach out to try and guest post. The next step is actually writing the post according to the requirements. So make sure you're looking at the requirements. But we're not using ChatGPT, we're not using Perplexity to write posts because that's going to be easily flagged, easily de-indexed by Google and other sources. They can pick that up. So the best way to do this is to use my favorite SEO tool, which is Arvo. So this tool is fantastic because you can create SEO optimized blog articles that are also branded to your brand, that are also going to be unrecognizable from an AI standpoint, because this does a lot of back-end checking, analyzing, and structuring to make this very SEO friendly. So you would just figure out what you're going to write about, and then you're going to do a new SEO article. You're going to put a keyword in here, and then you can put a title if you want. You don't have to. And then you're going to click add keywords, and that is going to basically create an input, which is going to take you here, and these are going to be the various inputs. And again, you can create a new input for every new article that you want. So just for example, these are just a couple of inputs I've already done. I can hit generate article based on that keyword and or title, and it'll create an article for me. Or I can take this to the next level, which is what I would suggest doing, and hitting edit here. And you can create templates too, so you don't have to do this every single time. But this is something that you want to make sure that you have set up. So this is what you basically just prompted, the focus keyword, the title. If you want to add more keywords, you can. But here's kind of what really matters. As far as the content goes, you can set your tone of voice and some of these structures point of view. But the knowledge base, here's what I was talking about. This is what's going to make this next level, is you can connect your own knowledge base, your website. You can connect any documentation you have, anything that you want to put in here from a knowledge standpoint. And it's going to use those assets and include that stuff in your article, which is going to make it more brand friendly, less recognizable from an AI standpoint. You can change the formatting, but here's also next level. You can add a call to action, which is really important to your booking page, your buy now. It'll add FAQs, key takeaways, internal linking. You can add your sitemap. So it's going to link all your pages together, which is really important from an SEO standpoint. It'll link your pages together automatically once you add your sitemap. External linking, it'll add relevant, high authority external links, or you can put your own in there, which is really important. Images, you can include your own branded images, or it'll generate AI images for you. It'll automatically put the alt text behind them. Videos, you can have your YouTube video channel here, or it'll pull a relevant YouTube video and include it in the article to make it even more engaging. So this is why this is next level, because there's a lot of back-end control you have to make this such a high quality article, which is really going to blow the people away that you're trying to guest post for anyhow. So then when you're ready, you can hit generate article and it'll create these articles for you, but that's not it. You have even more control if you want. So let's just look at some of these. Here's one we did for a mechanic. For brake repair was the keyword, and the title was my brakes are making a rattling sound. What should I do? So if you go in here, you can kind of see what it will generate based on your criteria. So it has the initial key takeaways and top summary, which is really important for AI overviews to get picked up there, and also to answer people's questions right away. So it makes it very valuable right away. And then it goes into the actual article itself. Again, internal links to your other pages, excerpts, images, either your own or AI generated with the alt text, and then a relevant YouTube video talking about the problem. And then you scroll down here, it has more internal links, external links all over the place, which is linking all your pages together, which is really important for SEO. And then it has FAQ section, which is really good for AI overviews, really good for search results. Of course, it has the meta description. So that's kind of what it looks like. But then you can take this to the next level if you want and go in here and edit this even further with the built-in AI. So maybe you don't like this first paragraph. You can rewrite it, add in keywords, add more links. If you want, any part of this is easily editable with AI. And then you have an AI assistant, which you can tell it from an overview, like, hey, change the first two paragraphs, add in two more paragraphs, add in more pictures, whatever the case may be, right? And then when you're ready to go, you can simply export this if you want. So it allows you to, you can basically publish this to your social media. You can publish this to your own website, or you can just download it for use for guest posting. So it enables you to download it for guest posting as well, to share it to them so that they can publish it. So it is as simple as that to create very high quality articles that you can reach out to and guest post and get a ton of backlinks really, really fast. Especially a lot of these can be repurposed for multiple guest posts, right? And that's where you can use, if you want to change it up a little bit, you can go back in here and use the AI assistant to change around the article, tweak it a little bit, so it's a little bit of a different article for multiple different guest post niches. But yeah, this is how you do it. So there is a link below. You can try out Arvo for free. It's an amazing tool, but this is a strategy that these guys are using to get a lot of backlinks really, really fast. Again, it is a numbers game, but you can do this in just a couple of minutes, because you can create articles really fast and high quality articles, and then you're just reaching out multiple times. This is not only the only thing that Arvo can do. What if I told you the #1 SEO tactic in 2025 takes 20 extra minutes but saves you 20 months of wasted work? Here's 7 strategies the pros are using that's working extremely well right now. And of course, I have the whole SEO dumpster fire, because if this is what you are feeling right now, I'm here to help. So let's dive right into tactic #1. The first one is matching intent, not just keywords. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I see, is people are not matching intent. They're finding a keyword that gets a lot of traffic and they're just using that keyword, but it's not matching the intent of what people are looking for. So here's a good example of exactly what I am talking about when it comes to this strategy. So you have to ask yourself, what's the goal behind this search? So if you're searching for the best CRM for startups, that's what someone is searching for. Do you think that providing an article or content on the history of CRMs would be helpful to them and would be search intent, was matching search intent, or comparison table of top CRMs, pricing, trial links, all that jazz? Well, it should be pretty obvious. The second one is matching intent. Most content answers the keyword, but not the question behind it. If someone lands on your post and doesn't find exactly what they want immediately, they're going to bounce right back into Google or AI or wherever they're searching to find that answer. So you need to provide content based on the intent of what they're searching for. And as we know, because of the infamous 2024 Google API leak, we know Google tracks bounce rate. We know they track CTR, click-through rate, and we know that they are testing your content without telling you. So stop thinking like a keyword robot and start thinking like a helpful guide so that you can snag those clicks and that traffic. #2 is internal linking based content. So think of your site like a spider web. The more links pointing to a page, the more important Google thinks it is. So this is why it is really important. So when you have your main page, you should build content. So this may be your services page, your booking page, whatever business you're running, but then you need to support that page with content and other pages. So let's just say you have, you're a law firm, right? So this is maybe the general main homepage, but then you're going to branch out to your services. So maybe you do accident law, right? And then maybe this is, I don't know, DUI law. And then this is family law. So that you're branching out and building content that's all linking back to your main page. But then you're going to take this a step further. You're going to continue to build this out even more. And you're going to have content, usually SEO blog articles, that are linking this together. So you're going to do blog articles that are only focused on accidents and the important, what I was just talking about, intent-based searches. So what questions people have, and then we're going to build out content around them. And you're going to do that for all of your service pages. And this is where a tool to do this, a tool like Arvo comes into play, which is something I talk about a lot because it's such a great SEO tool where you can link all this stuff together. So this is an SEO blogging tool. So this is one for bottom of the funnel, intent-based search. My brakes are making a rattling sound. What should I do? So if someone is searching for this, they are looking for a specific problem, and we're going to provide the solution. But in the articles, you can include your sitemap, and it'll internal link to your other site pages. So we'll do this automatically. You can add in your company assets, YouTube videos, but you can see this. It has these internal links built into your other pages. So if you're doing an article about accident law, we can link this again to your service page. Again, for all of these automatically. And it's just one of the main things that it does to make this a lot easier. But that's really, really important. Something that you want to do when you're building out your site and your content. All right, taking this step further, this is step 3, go after transactional queries, not just informational. So we want to think top of the funnel versus bottom of the funnel, because we want to be able to not get filtered out by AI overviews, which is going to be more and more prevalent, which is happening. So AI overviews are starting to steal a lot of clicks, up to 34% drop in click-through rate because of AI overviews. And you can see, like, top of the funnel, what is SEO? AI overview of what is SEO. So this is going to steal your click if someone is searching for it. But it's also top of the funnel, right? This isn't happening as much or at all with bottom of the funnel type content and searches. So best SEO tool for local businesses or buy SEO audit service. These are bottom of the funnel, transactional, targeting actual problems, actual things that people want solutions for. And these are going to have a higher conversion rate as well because it is at the bottom of the funnel. It's at the bottom of someone's buyer intent. And it's going to be harder for AI overviews to provide this information in a summary form. So again, like up here, we would do, if you have an SEO company, then you're going to build out specific content that's bottom of the funnel related to these topics. And then when people are searching, they are going to find your thing because it is bottom of the funnel. You're not going to get filtered out, and you're going to be able to snag those clicks, and you're going to be able to overcome your competition. The next is show your advantage. This is really important too, and something that people really miss. Most brands don't show what makes them better, not in the title, not in the meta description, and definitely not on the page. So think, what makes us better? And this is usually, this formula is speed, plus and or guarantee, price, and the local location. All right, so here are two examples. The first, affordable car insurance in Florida. You can see this is more top of the funnel. It doesn't include the speed. It doesn't include the guarantee, price, none of that stuff. It does include the location. But a better bottom of the funnel page or content or title will be Florida's only 2-hour instant quote insurance, no credit check. So it has the time, it has the value, it has guarantee, no credit check, instant quote, and then it has Florida as well. So this is a much better way to position your content, put the value front and center, and then appeal to your audience a lot better than just a generic way that people are doing. Number 5 is TLDRs. So these improve conversions dramatically. So you need to have the TLDR type information at the very top of your content, especially if you're doing SEO blogging. So this gives you up to a 33% boost in conversions by just moving this information to the top. So here's an example based on what we looked at earlier about breaks, and the way that you want to position it has the main information here, but it also has key takeaways. All this stuff gives them everything they need to know right at the beginning. Not to mention, this is stuff that could be pulled in to get AI overviews, and then you're going to be cited on those AI overviews. So if they want to click into your site, you're going to show up at the top, front and center. And again, Arvo does this for you. The way that they set up their articles, it will put that main information at the top. And this is what people want to see right away. And this is how you're going to be able to get a boost in conversions. Not to mention, they also add an FAQ section at the bottom of every article. And this is something that you can turn on or turn off. I would definitely have it on, but this is stuff that could be pulled into AI overviews as well. This is stuff that's going to be pulled into Google to search. All these questions are being asked. So this is all good for pulling this article and getting you more traffic. So that's number 5, which is really important. Number 6, use Google or use YouTube to rank in Google. So you can create content, and you can see in searches, this is showed up for what is SEO. Most searches are going to populate YouTube videos. So if you create YouTube videos to grow your business, to get traffic, this is a great way to be able to do that. And a couple of key points here: you want to put your keyword at the start of the title. What is SEO? You want to put it in the beginning of your description, which they did here. What is SEO? You want to say it within the first 15 seconds and actually answer the intent of what the search is. Now, for a next level strategy is if you are doing YouTube videos, or even if you're not, you can use, again, Arvo to include these in your articles. So you can see here, this includes a relevant YouTube video in here. So you can have it include your own if you have a YouTube channel, or you can include relevant, it'll automatically include relevant YouTube videos for you too, to help with bounce rates. It'll help keep people engaged. Also, you can create articles from YouTube videos. So that has a feature where you can do a YouTube to blog post. You just enter the video URL in here and it'll create the blog post on that video. So again, you can use your own or someone else's, because you're citing the YouTube video in the content. So you can use someone else's videos, especially if they are viral, they're popular videos, to create blog content for your own business. And then within that blog content, you're going to interlink to your other pages. You're going to have the TLDRs at the top, and you're going to show up in search, or more likely show up in search, by leveraging your own content or other people's content. So that's kind of a next level tactic for you. Now, the last one is refresh old content. So you're creating this content, maybe this is like a blog from 2019, and then you should go in and refresh this for 2025 or 2026. So you go in, maybe update the links, change the pictures around, new stats, better structure, stronger intro, current links. So you can do this and either do a new article or just refresh this for 2025. Again, if you have a tool like Arvo, not to beat a dead horse, this is just an amazing tool. You can go in to your old content. So these are different generations of content that I published, and this is going to make it so much easier for you. So you go into an old article right here, and this is the old article, and you can edit any part of this old article very, very easily. So you can use AI to edit this. So I can highlight this, ask it to rewrite it, add keywords in here, add graphs, add new stuff. So I can do it more manual like this, or I could just have the AI assistant do it. But like, hey, refresh this. I would just write a prompt in here. Hey, refresh this article for 2025, add in some new information, take out some of the old paragraphs, add in new graphs, stats, all those things. And it'll rewrite this article. And then once that's done, you just republish this. You can integrate this with your website, and you can republish this to your website, to social media, because you can link this with both. So that's kind of a next level strategy for you as well. And Arvo, there's a link below to try it out for free. You're not going to regret it. It does more than just this. There's a lot of features in here. But that's it. That's the recap. So just real quick, hopping back in here. 7, refresh old content. 6, YouTube. Use YouTube to rank on Google, either your content or someone else's. TLDRs at the front of your content to show up right away. Show your advantage in the content titles and structure. Go after transactional queries, not just informational. Internal linking based content. Make sure you're linking everything together. And then the first one we talked about was, what is the real goal behind search? Make sure you're targeting search intent, not just keywords. But that's it. That's the recap. If you're doing those things, there's no reason why you're not going to get a ton more traffic, especially if you're using fantastic tools like Arvo just to make your life and job a lot easier. 0 to 11 million in traffic. This is how it's done. Here are some examples which I'm going to go through, and then I'm going to give you the blueprint to follow on how these companies are getting this much traffic. They're all doing the same thing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. All you have to do is follow this process. So here are some of the results, and you can see these are screenshots taken from Ahrefs, where little or no traffic, and then a skyrocket of traffic, almost over 9,000 in traffic, almost 6,000 backlinks. I mean, these guys are killing it. Here's another one, literally 0 traffic, and then kaboom, skyrocket. So this is a publishing company, and this is their blog. They're getting a ton of traffic from this. Here's a glass company that started this process, and they are showing a skyrocket in traffic. And then here is, I believe this is a SaaS company. So it doesn't really matter on the company, or it doesn't really matter on the niche. This strategy works for any niche, any company, small or large, or if you're an entrepreneur, whatever the case may be. All right, so let's just dive in. I'm sure you guys are ready to see this process and how these companies are actually getting these kind of results with their traffic, which I'm sure you want too. So, all right, so first things first, you have to know who your audience, who your avatar is in order to serve them, in order to get the right traffic back to your website. Because if you're not putting out the right content targeting your avatar, your ideal audience, then you're not going to get any traffic back. So you have to know who you're serving. And if you try to market to everyone, you're going to market to no one, as the old adage goes. So don't try to market to everybody. Drill down and find out, who is your target audience, who is buying your stuff already. Do those demographics, find out if you have to poll them, if you have to do a survey, whatever the case may be. You have to figure out who your demographics are, who your target market is. Is it women 30 to 35 with one or more than one children? Is it males under 45, that make over 6 figures? Who is your target audience? What are they interested in? What do they like? Where do they shop? That will help you greatly in order to for these next steps, because all this rolls up into that. If you don't have that pinned down, then nothing else matters. So that's really key number 1. Key number 2 is identifying their problems and how you solve them. So think through this. What problems do they have? What are they searching for? How can you solve those problems with your products and your services? How can you fulfill that need? So start a list, write a list of all the problems that they have and all the solutions that you have, and that's how you're going to formulate your content and target. So the next one is, what are they actually searching for? So you kind of align with identifying their problems, okay, and then how are they actually searching for those problems, right? And what you want to focus on is the keyword, right? But also bottom of the funnel. So if you're a mechanic, right? That is your niche, right? You're a mechanic. Maybe you have you service brakes, right? As one of your services. So brakes, mechanic and brakes is kind of the key word, but what are they actually searching for? We want to focus on bottom of the funnel then, right? We don't just want to do brakes. It's not telling us anything. We don't want to create content around brakes. We want to see, like, are people just searching for brakes? No. I mean, some people probably are, but not our market. Maybe people are searching for brakes to buy brakes for themselves. But if we're a mechanic, we want those people that are searching for brake problems to come and find us. So, my brakes are making a squeaking sound. How do I fix it? Or what is wrong? My brakes are, rumbling, or my brakes, is causing my steering wheel to shake. How do I fix it? Or what are a solution to that? So that's what I'm talking about as far as bottom of the funnel. Like, that's what real people are actually searching for at the end of the day. My brakes are shaking. What is wrong? Or my brakes are squeaking. What is wrong and how do I fix it? Well, you fix it by coming to the mechanic. Here's all the possible things that are wrong, which is more than you can do. This is why you need to come to a mechanic, right? So that's what you need to focus on, how they're actually searching for the stuff. The next thing is producing the content that satisfies the search intent. So same thing, if they are searching for how often should I get my tires changed, or my brakes are making a screeching sound, then we want to create an article for that. So here's a good example. This is a tool that I use. So this is Arvo. And here actually is the platform itself. So you can create content, bottom of the funnel keyword content, blog articles that will help drive traffic. And every single one of the case studies that I showed you are using Arvo. These are all using Arvo. So this strategy plus this tool is what is the game changer. So let me just show you kind of in the example that I was already talking about with brakes, how you can really do amazing content. So this is brake repair. And this is an article. All I did was type in this question. My brakes are making a rattling sound. What should I do? Right? And it created this amazing article so that I can then post on social media that will then, when someone types that in, it's going to show them this article. And then it's going to link back to my auto center. So here's the internal links. Here's pictures. And what's nice about Arvo, you can upload your own assets, your own YouTube channel, your sitemap, your own pictures, your own knowledge base, and it'll pull that stuff into the article. This uses AI, but if you put in your own brand assets, it's going to be even more brand specific, and then it's going to link to your other pages, which is really powerful for SEO. So this is what all these companies are doing, and this is key you want to make sure you're doing bottom of the funnel content, not just releasing top of the funnel. I don't want to just release articles on brakes. on mufflers, on tires. I want to release content on, my tires are balding. When should I replace them? Or how often should I replace tires? Or, what are the best winter tires? Things like that. That's where I want to release content on. So people are finding those answers and then they're coming to me to solve them. All right. So that is really key, is producing that type of content. The next thing is that we want to focus on is build authority through link building. So when we are releasing that content, like I just showed you, we're going to have the ability to internally link to using our sitemap, it'll automatically internally link to our other pages, which is going to help. It's going to increase page authority. If this is linking to, if this is linking to my service, so if I have this blog article and I have the internal links, this is going to link to my brake service page. Maybe this part is talking about tires. This is going to link to my tire service page. So you're going to get link juice from the article back to here. And then maybe in your service pages, you're going to talk about your other services. So maybe this is all about brakes. There's a book a call, book a consultation, book an appointment. But at the bottom, you're like, do you need tire help? And it's going to link here. So they're maybe bounce from here, then bounce from here. And that is overall is going to increase the authority of all of these pages because you're going to get the link juice. All right, rank and rent SEO. What is it? How to do it? Can you make money with it? Let's go. So rank and rent SEO allows you to be able to create passive income, earn monthly rental income from high ranking websites or from leads, which is actually probably even a better play. You own the digital real estate, so you build it once, rent monthly, and then you continue to profit off of it. And then you could scale it easily. You can use AI tools now to automate and grow with less effort, which makes it a very viable business model. Now, what is rank and rent SEO? You're probably like, well, what do I do? What does this even mean? So basically, it starts with you building a website, right? You build a website and you tailor it around a specific niche and specific local keywords. So usually you do this for local businesses. It's a little bit easier. And then you rank it for those terms. You rank it in Google, but even more important now is to make sure that it's showing up in AI overviews and AI search as well. So once it's ranked, then you rent it to a business seeking leads. So you can either sell leads or you can rent the entire website to that business. And when people go there, they would see that business's information. So that is basically the play. That is the short and sweet of it. Now, here's kind of a real world example here for you, all kind of broken down. So say you want to target like the roofing niche, which in Florida is a very big niche, especially around hurricane season. So you would basically start a website, say it's the Tampa Bay area. So you would do TampaRoofRepairExperts.com or something like that. So usually you have the niche and the location. So right here is the location, right here is the niche. So those are the main keywords from an SEO standpoint that really matter. And that's why you want to center your domain around that. Target keywords would be Tampa roof repair, emergency roofing Tampa. So those are kind of good long tail keywords that you can kind of target initially. I mean, there's a lot more than just that. And then the potential rent is $500 to $1,500 a month. That's either renting out that domain for them to put their own information or selling leads, which selling leads could be even more profitable. So let's just say you do the monthly rent at $1,000, your initial investment is $2,000, your ROI is 500%. But again, depending on the niche, you can sell leads for $50, $100, $500, $1,000. So the more money in your niche, the more money you can make. Roofing is just big depending on the area, but it may not be your play. You may a much better play, a much more viable play, a much more profitable play would be like plastic surgery, or it would be for like lawyers or accountants. But again, there's a lot more clients for roofing, so it can be kind of a mass mass play, quantity play, rather than, just going after the money in it. So here's the exact framework to follow to set this up. So the first thing that you want to do is choose your niche and city. Again, think of the money aspect, think of the amount of traffic, the clients, all that should come into play because you want to make this the most viable. And if it's something that, maybe it's a niche you're more familiar with, then maybe you want to choose that. If you're familiar with roofing, maybe you want to do it that way. If you're familiar with a bigger niche or you just want to go after the bigger money play, then do it that way. The next is to buy the domain and hosting. And again, you want to think of the domain, you want to have the location as the first part or the last part, and then the actual niche in the domain. So make sure you're setting the domain up correctly. Again, Tampa Bay Roofing Repair, accounting for small businesses or something like that in Tallahassee, wherever, just make sure you have those components in the name. The next is to build and structure the website. So this is becoming more and more easy. You can use, this is Perplexity Labs that I created this presentation in. You can build websites and landing pages in Perplexity. There's Lovable. You can build websites and pages in Lovable. There's a lot of apps out there that you can build entire websites and pages without knowing any coding, with just giving it a prompt. So it's a lot easier to set this up than it ever used to be. The next is you're going to add local SEO content. Again, you're going to do keyword research and make sure you're adding that local SEO content, because that is how you're going to rank and drive traffic. There's tools out there. There's Ahrefs, there's SEMrush, there's Google AdWords that's free. The other two are not free, but they do have free tools in there. So you want to make sure that you're doing the proper keyword research when you're setting up your pages. The next is set up tracking and lead capture. Again, you want to have an opt-in form to capture leads, and then you can then approach businesses with those leads and sell them to them. So that's how this whole thing works. And the next is if you want to rent or even sell the site. So again, you can approach those same businesses that you're getting leads from. If they like the leads, ask them if they want to actually rent out the entire site. Or if it's a big enough business, they may want to buy it. And you could do just, you could do a big purchase, which would be really, really financially beneficial and lucrative. Here are some niche selection tips that you want to keep in mind. So like I mentioned before, you want to keep in mind high value services or high value niches. So HVAC, plumbing, roofing, these have high lead values, and a lot of them, there's a lot of big customer base. But again, you can also target smaller customer bases with even higher lead value, plastic surgery, lawyers, accountants, things like that. Where they may want leads, especially if they're newer, they're not going to have that client base. So you may be able to get sell a lot of leads that way. The next is mid-sized cities. So target mid-sized cities because it's going to be a lot less competition than huge cities. It's a lot more competitive. So in terms of ranking and getting your website ranked high, because this whole works from getting your website ranked high in search and in AI overviews and all that stuff. If you're not getting ranked because it's too competitive, then you're not going to generate any leads, and people certainly aren't going to want to rent your website from you. That's where the key to all this is. And lastly, urgency based. You can consider this, so if you want to do, again, like roofing repairs around hurricane season, that's urgency based. But they also would perform, they would have higher conversion rates and perform best. So just think about it like that: emergency dental work, what do you need, I don't even know, like DUI lawyers, like things that people would need like ASAP. You can kind of target on that urgency and get a lot more leads that way as well. So something to kind of consider. All right, here is a simple structure when you're going to build out your website, right? You want to have the essential pages, the home page, and which is basically just your home page can have a little bit about your actual target niche. And then on the home page, you can even have your services on there, but you want to have breakout of services pages, but you can have an overview of kind of your services on there. And then you can have either quote forms, call buttons on there. You definitely want to make sure you have an opt-in form on your homepage as well, so people can submit their lead information. So you want to like do an opt-in, like get a free guide, or the top best things to consider when, you know, buying a home or something like that. Just so something that people need, usually is something urgency based, give them the reason to opt in. Or maybe you just want to do a feed and like, hey, put your information here and we'll have someone reach out to you. That can be as simple as that. If it's urgency based, then you go with that lead and try to sell it to somebody. You want to have an about section as well, which helps build legitimacy. You want to have a contact section, and then you want to have a location section. So the location section is kind of tough because you're not going to have an actual physical location, but the location is important to ranking your website and building authority. So you have to put a location in there. So I would recommend doing, if there's like a local like workspace, like co-working space, you know, you can use that location. So you can use like a local library location. It just has to be in the area of the city. So it's not going to matter that much. You don't want to use like someone's house or something like that. You know, use some type of shared space location, but it'll help build authority with your website. So that is the basic build out. This is probably the home page is the most important, and the services pages are the most important, because you want to build out an entire page for every single service with those keywords on it and local keywords on it. Same thing with your home page. It has to have a bunch of local keywords on there as well. And a lot of it is, you know, a lot of it is just building authority with what you're talking about, giving people insight, tips, tactics, and, you know, just helpful information, and then giving them a solution, which would be, you know, maybe a call button or a quote form or some type of opt-in form is going to be their solution. You're probably not going to have a call button because you're not going to be wanting to be fielding calls. But if you sell this site, then they're going to want to have a call button on here. Now, here's where the magic really happens with all this. And what I use specifically for this is Arvo for content, because you're going to want to have a blog section, which I didn't mention that in the last section, but that is going to be important to driving traffic back to your section, back to your site, linking all the pages together, and then helping you rank. So you want to create SEO friendly blogs for the keywords that you're trying to rank for your local keywords. So how that is going to basically work is you're going to have, you know, your website pages, you're going to have, you know, your home page, you're going to have your services page, but then you're going to have your blogs that you're creating, right? And these are going to be targeting specific keywords, specific keyword clusters. But then what you're going to do is you're going to link these blogs together with internal links, so if they're wherever applicable, but you're also going to have internal links that go to your services pages. You're going to have internal links that go to your homepage. You're going to have internal links that go to the opt-in page or opt-in form. And this is going to all link all this stuff together and increase your ranking, because you're going to be able to release blogs one a day, multiple times a day, very fast with these long tail bottom of funnel keywords, local SEO friendly keywords. It's going to help you rank a lot faster, and Arvo will help you do exactly that. So you're going to release these blogs. You're going to use long tail SEO friendly keywords, you know, focus on near me or location specific terms. And then you're going to basically use Arvo again to schedule out the blog posts so that you're doing this passively. You're not doing this actively. This is kind of a set it and forget it type deal. So here's Arvo that I use. There's a link below. You can try this out for free. You can also get a discount because this is an amazing SEO tool. But basically what you're going to do is once you have those long tail keywords, you're going to go in here and you're just going to put the keyword here. If you have a title idea, you can do that. You don't have to. And then you're going to generate articles for those keywords. So here are some generations of articles to give you an idea of how this works. Here's a good one. This is for real estate in Miami. This is targeting keywords for real estate, new home buyers, and B, the Miami area. So this is good. This top portion is ideal for AI overviews and AI search. So it's going to help you rank not only on Google, but in AI search. It's talking about the location. It has internal links here to other pages. It has excerpts. You can include YouTube videos, has images with alt text. And the nice thing is you can include your brand assets in here if you want. You don't have to, but you can. Or it'll just generate SEO friendly articles with the information that you give it based on the keyword. And then once you have the articles, you set up an automation where it is as simple as this. So you would basically set up a new automatic blog campaign, and we're just going to do test campaign here, enable auto blog, which we're going to do full automation mode. So we're going to give it a feed, which is either going to be keywords, a website, an RSS feed, or a YouTube channel. And then it's going to generate articles from that feed and automatically publish it. So the best thing probably to do is do a keyword feed, but then you can have it set to publish whenever you want. Now you can include the integration, which is going to be the website that you just created. You can include social media if you want, and then you set the interval every day, every month, every 6 hours. But you can also have how many articles per interval. So if I do every day, I do 6 articles every day, 12 articles every day, whatever I want to do. And then once this is set up, this is going to work completely passively. So you're going to be releasing articles usually at least daily. And then all the while, it's going to improve your ranking of your website and get you a lot more traffic, and then passively get you leads. And then once you have enough leads, you can sell them. Once your website is ranked high enough, then you can rent the site or sell the site, whatever you want to do. But as a recap, here are some of the options like I was talking about. You can rent the site for whatever you decide per month. Usually it's going to be the bigger the niche, the more you can rent it for. At least usually probably $1,000 a month. I mean, that's $12,000 a year for you doing nothing. The other thing that you could do is pay per lead. Again, these are usually $100 a lead to, it can be as high as $2,000. It just really depends on the client, a lifetime value of the niche of the industry. So that's why this varies. The last thing that you can do is decide to flip the site. This is going to be a much bigger payday. But this is kind of then, once you rank it, you sell it, then you're done, hands off, you get the payout. And then you can do this again and again and again with another site. But here are some common mistakes in why this could trip you up. So make sure you're not doing these. Low lead value niches. So don't pick niches with super low lead value. So like, for instance, like a coffee shop. Those customers are worth $5 to $10 unless they come back again and again and again, which is hard because it's a very competitive market. Not worth your time. You want higher value leads. And usually it's like, what is the average cost per client? How much do their clients spend on average with them? HVAC, their average cost, depending on the service, could be in the thousands of dollars. So those leads are more valuable. That's why you should focus on those niches. Not to mention there's millions of houses in a small town. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands, and those are all potential clients. So that's just something to consider. Don't rent too early. So don't rent out your site if you're not getting enough traffic, right? If it's not ranked, just focus on the leads. Focus on the leads first before you rent, while you're working to continue to improve it, because they're going to be tied. If you start getting a lot of leads, chances are your website's starting to rank higher and higher and higher. So just keep that in mind. Overbuilding. So building complex sites before they rank. Keep it simple. You don't need a crazy complex site. Not to mention, if you're doing the strategy in this document or in this video, not a document, doing the strategy where you're focusing on releasing blog content centered around the keywords that you're trying to target for, you don't need a complex site. You need something very basic. The content is going to do its job to help link to your other pages, rank your website higher. So you don't need to spend a lot of time building some crazy complex site. And ignoring mobile is the last one. So make sure your site is mobile optimized. Test it on a mobile phone, because a lot of times people build out sites and they look wonky. A lot of stuff is missing. Stuff is off sync, not centered, cut off, whatever the case may be. So make sure your site is mobile optimized. That's the one main killer of traffic is if your site is not mobile optimized. The algorithms can see that it's not mobile optimized. The majority of people are looking on their phones for this stuff. So if it's not mobile optimized, it's going to kill your traffic and your ranking, which is really, really important. All right, once you have this stuff all built out and you're ready to go, here's how to get your first client. Here's some really good ideas that definitely work. So the first is cold outreach methods. So you can do email campaigns to certain clients. So you can look up, people in your niche and reach out to their email. This is kind of you need to do a lot of these for it to be able to work. LinkedIn outreach, so find the businesses on LinkedIn, reach out to them that way. A lot of them are pretty used to getting reached out to on LinkedIn. So it may be a good way to reach people. A lot of stuff gets lost in email. So try LinkedIn as well. And then direct phone calls, probably the best, but sometimes the hardest because people make it a little bit nasty to you. But those are the three main ways to try and reach out. Now, here are some ways to actually snag the client. So once you get a hold of them, okay, what do I do next? So first, you can offer a 2-week free trial. This could either be to rent out the site or just leads. Like I would probably start with giving them some free leads. Just like, hey, here are some leads from this website that we have ranking very high. Let us know how they do, and if you want more, we can either consider A, selling you leads, B, eventually renting out the site for you. So this is a way to deliver value first to them, and then third, close the deal with results. So if you're giving them a test run of leads or a certain number of free leads and they do really well, then obviously they're going to be more apt to close. So those are the ways that work. That's how to kind of approach this to get clients and then get a hold of the clients and then close the clients. But that's it. That is the process for rank and rent. So you build a digital asset website. You use tools to scale fast. So you use AI to build it. You use Arvo to create that content, passively targeting those keywords. And then you just take action. Once you build it and you start collecting leads, it starts ranking higher. Reach out to clients, email, LinkedIn, phone, give them some type of incentive to use your service. A lot of them aren't going to pass up on free leads. Like, hey, here's some free leads. I'm looking to bring value first, show them the real deal, and then you're going to come back to me and want more. But that is how you do it. That's the full rank and rent SEO with some sneaky tactics in there that actually work in the real world, in the ever-changing SEO AI market. And this is a real-world framework for exactly what to do. So keep that in mind. Again, Arvo below for free if you want to try it out. Even if you don't want to do this rank and rent, it's good for if you have another website for content. It's amazing for SEO. So I would definitely use it regardless of this strategy. You can steal your competitors' best SEO strategies that they paid thousands of dollars for with just a couple of clicks. Well, now you can. I created a workflow that you can steal today in N8N to do exactly this. Let's go. All right, so here is the workflow. This may seem a little bit more complicated. It's not that complicated. I'm using N8N to create this workflow to extract all of my competition's SEO strategy in terms of their blog and keywords. So what this does, what this is going to accomplish is you're going to basically be able to take however many competitors you want. Let's say you have the top 3, top 4 competitors. You're going to use this tool and it's going to extract all of their SEO blog articles into one comprehensive list, right? It's going to have all these URLs here. And then what it's going to do is it's going to analyze this list, pull out all of the keywords and keyword clusters and break everything down. So you're going to have all of the blog titles, but it's going to break it down into clusters. So let's just say your niche is a med spa, right? So you're serving from med spa clients. You're trying to bring in more med spa patients and clients and all that stuff. So maybe you have a cluster talking about neurotoxin like Botox, wrinkle reduction. Maybe you have a cluster talking about filler. Maybe you have a cluster talking about skincare. So it's going to pull this out and it's going to let you know exactly what your competition is targeting in terms of their keywords, but also their clusters. So then what you can do is go back and you can create amazing SEO optimized blog articles using your competition's information that they've paid thousands of dollars for, and you're not going to have to pay any of that money. So let's dive in to how to do that exactly. So if you're searching on Google, right, and we're just going to do search for a med spa. This is just in the business we're using. This works for any niche, lawyers, accountants, whatever the case may be. So we're going to do a search in Google, and you may already know your competition, but usually the top people up here are, going to be the top competition. So these people we know are probably paying a significant amount of money for their SEO. So we can start there. And what you can do is, now depending on your niche and how big your local business is, whether you're local or international, it's going to vary in terms of your competition and kind of how much traffic they're getting. But what you can do is, if you're not sure, you can go over to Ahrefs, and basically you can go and use their free tool. What you want to do is go over to their resources, SEO tools, and then you can go down here and do website traffic checker, and you can pop their URL in here and see their website traffic. How much traffic are they getting? If they're not getting very much traffic compared to some of the other competition, then maybe you want to use the other competition. You want websites that are getting a lot of traffic, and this is all relative. Maybe good traffic is 5,000 searches a month. Maybe good traffic is 500 searches a month. You're in a smaller market, so it really depends. So come up with a list of 3 to 5 competitors, search their traffic, and do this for the top 3 in terms of traffic, because those are the ones doing the best SEO. So we want to copy what they're doing and use it to our advantage. So once you have that done, you have your competitors all ready to go. The next thing you want to do is go into NAN, and you want to set this workflow up. Before we set this workflow up, to make this a little bit easier, you're going to create a spreadsheet. Now this is already filled out, but yours is going to be blank. You want to create a Google spreadsheet. You want to name it something specific like competitor URLs, and then you want to create 2 sheets. We want to do competitor URL sheet and then competitor analysis sheet. So this is going to be really important for the workflow. This is all going to pull in here automatically from the N8N workflow. So once you have this set up, you're ready to go, and we can integrate this. So what we want to do is we want to go in here and start it with a trigger. So this is a trigger node. You can simply go in here and search for, this is a schedule trigger. You can do like a chat trigger or whatever the case may be. We're not really going to schedule this out because this workflow, we're just going to run it manually, but you need a trigger to be able to start the workflow. So you can do the schedule trigger. That's fine. We're not going to fill out anything in the schedule trigger. Like you can set trigger intervals, whatever. This is for automations. This is going to be a manual node, a manual automation, as you're going to see, because we're only going to run it when we want to run it. It's not going to be automatic. So we're going to do a schedule trigger, and then what we're going to do is add competitor analysis to this. So we're going to do a Google Sheet. So what you want to do is go in here, search for Google Sheets, add the Google Sheets, and it's going to connect it just like this. So when you have the Google Sheet, you're going to connect it to your Google account. So you're going to hit this little this little pencil, put in your credentials for your Google Sheet. So you're going to have to sign into your Google account and set that up so it pulls in. And then you're going to do sheet within document, and then get rows, and then from list, we're going to name this. This is why you want to name it, so you can find this stuff. Competitor URLs, from list, comp URLs, right? So the document's title, the document is competitor URLs, and then the sheet is comp URLs. So just make sure you're doing the right ones. And then you're ready to go here. So that's all set up. So the next part of this is going to have the loop over URLs node. I'm just going to do batch size 1. So what we're going to do, the reason why we would want to have this is because it's going to run this workflow for every single line in our sheet. If we don't have this, it's not going to run the workflow. It's only going to run it once. So we want to make sure to loop over URLs. So you're going to connect that to your Google Sheets, and then you're going to add a done node to this. So it's pretty simple. You just do done. There's nothing to fill out here. So basically it's just going to tell us once it's done looping over all the rows, then it's going to stop. It's not going to kind of repeat the process. So that's next. Loop over URL, done. We're going to connect this to the very last part of the sheet, but we're not going to do that right now.
So the next node that we're going to search for is going to be this node, edit fields node. So this is for manual mapping. So we're going to manual map this URL string JSON URL. So this should match exactly this, right? So this is going to help us edit those fields in the sheet. Then we're going to add an aggregate node, individual fields, URL, and that's all we're going to fill out here. Pretty simple. Now here is where it gets fancy, right? Here's kind of the magic behind this, is we're going to set up our own AI agent here. We're going to connect our OpenAI. So you have to have an OpenAI account, ChatGPT account. You're going to connect the account. We're going to message a model. ChatGPT 4o mini is good. It's not going to use that many tokens for this workflow. That is good enough. And then here's the prompt. You are part of a professional SEO team. Your job is to analyze competitors' sitemaps to help your team come up with content and keyword strategy. To do this, go through each blog post URL in the competitor sitemap and identify the following topic keywords, yada, yada. It goes on. So I will, if you type prompt below, I'll share this prompt so that you don't have to try and copy this whole thing. But this is kind of the in-depth prompt that's going to strip all the data from those URLs. So that is what you want to set up there. You want to make sure to set this up, have that correct prompt. So make sure you message me for that so you can get that reformat node. So this is going to basically run for all these items. And here's the code. It's going to split these up into consistent rows. So make sure this is formatted correctly on the sheet. So you can kind of copy this exactly as you see it here. You should hopefully be able to see this on the screen. Take a screenshot and copy this and paste this in the reformat node. We just want to make sure that this is reformatted on the sheet correctly. Merge. This is going to combine position, number of inputs too. So this is going to combine the top with the bottom and basically reformat this correctly so it's not kind of all over the place. And then we're going to add to sheets. So again, connect your Google Sheets account, sheet within the document, append or update row. And then we're going to do the competitor URLs, and then we're going to do competitor analysis, map each column manually, column to match URL, and then we're going to do this, the URL strings. So URL, topic, keyword, and summary. All right, and the last node is going to be another Google Sheets node. So this is going to be set up just like this: from list, competitor URLs, comp URLs, sheet, map each manually, URL, and then it's going to use the JSON URL to match this, analyze. Yes. So what this is going to do, what this is going to look like on your end is basically you're taking all of these URLs and you're going to basically set these to no, and it's going to change these to yes as it analyzes all of these URLs. And then basically it's going to populate one by one all of the blog articles and all of the summary of the blog, blog articles, keywords, summary of the blog, and then the actual link to the blog. So it's going to do this one by one, and you'll see this real time as it's set up as you're running this. But first, you're probably like, okay, well, how do I get this part? So this is the part that you have to fill in before you run this workflow. So you have to fill this part in the sheet. Make sure all these say no. So you have to pull the sitemap from your competitors. So how you would do that is basically you would go to any site, any competitor, and you would type in their website, and then basically at the end do /sitemap underscore index.html. So once you pull that for any website, it's going to show their entire sitemap. What we're looking for is their post sitemap. So right here, this is all of their blog posts. So what you want to do is you want to simply just copy all of these posts, right? And we're going to reformat this for the sheet. So copy all of these posts, and then we're going to take them over to ChatGPT. And what we're going to do is enter in a prompt here that is going to reformat this for the Google Sheet. So here's the prompt that you're going to use. Really simple. Basically, it's just going to be reformat the below XML sitemap into a table. One column equals one URL. Do the whole thing in one output. So we're going to put the URL at the bottom here. So Here we're going to go back to our sitemap. We're going to copy all of this stuff, and we are going to go back to OpenAI, and we're going to paste all this in here, and it's going to reformat all of this into that table that we can literally just copy and paste into our Google Sheets. But this is the most important part because we need to be able to put this in the Google Sheets so that this whole workflow can be analyzed. All right, and here we go. This is all of the URLs that we can just literally just copy and paste into the sheet, which I already did for you. Again, you want to make sure that this says no here. You have it analyzed. So make sure you title these. So URL and analyze so that it knows what it's pulling. And then these should all be no's. So then once you have that in here, you are ready. Make sure to have this workflow set up correctly, and you are ready to start running this workflow. Now, what you can do is you can do all of your competitors' URLs here. You don't have to do one at a time. So if you have 3 that you want to do, just do all 3. Just copy and paste all of them in here, and then you can run this all at once. And then once it's done, it's going to give you this output. So it's going to give you the title, it's going to give you the keywords, it's going to give you the summary, and then the link here. All right, so this next part is where the magic really happens. What we want to do is go over and we want to leverage this entire list of blogs for however many competitors that you did. So we're going to go back to ChatGPT, and we want to use this prompt, which I'm copying and pasting here, which is pretty straightforward. You're a part of a SEO team for company ABC that blows detailed analysis of the blogs they posted. Your job is to go through the blogs and categorize them into clusters. Your output must be in this format: cluster name, blog 1, blog 2, yada yada. So this is the prompt we're using. So we're going to go here, copy all of these blog articles, and then we're just going to go back in here and we're going to paste all the blog articles here. And then basically ChatGPT is going to organize this all for us into usable clusters, which then we can take and leverage to our advantage, which is going to be the most powerful part of this whole process. And here we go. Here are the clusters. So it break it down by a main topic and then the actual titles. So anti-aging, laser treatments, and then injectables. Here's all the topics. Chemical peels, all the topics. Fillers, here's all the topics. So whatever niche. So you can see now we have specific clusters that we can cycle through and target and basically leverage the keywords that our competitors are using and the blog titles. Again, they're paying lots of money for this information that we are now going to use to our advantage as well. So once you have these clusters, this is where the magic really happens. You want to create SEO friendly content to be able to target these and start to overtake your competition and overtake them rapidly, because you can create amazing SEO friendly content with very little work. How do you do this? Well, we don't want to use ChatGPT for this because it's getting flagged by Google. It's easy to tell that it's AI written. You want to use a company like Arvo, which there's a link below. You can try this out for free to create amazing SEO friendly blog articles, which you can attach your brand assets to. So you can attach your knowledge base, your tone of voice, your pictures, your sitemap, and link everything together. And it's not going to be picked up or flagged by Google. You're not going to know that's written by AI. You can see this article is one for fillers. It adds images, or you can add your own. Has all the SEO bells and whistles, internal tech, internal meta descriptions, alt text. It has excerpts and quotes. It has linked pages, so you can link pages to go, internal links, external links. So amazing SEO friendly articles with just one click, and you can set this up to auto blog for you as well. But what you would do is you would take one of these topics, right, whatever this may be, and you're going to pop over here and you're going to do basically an SEO article. So you're going to put the title in here, and if you want to target the keyword, you can put a keyword in here as well. And then you're going to add this as an input. And then once you add it as an input, you can generate articles off of that input, as many as you want. So the input will go here. Obviously, I didn't do it, so it's not showing. But then when we go to generations, here's the articles that we generated. So here's one on the chemical peel. That was the keyword. Chemical peel aftercare tips was the actual title. Here's one on will chemical peels help acne, and then the keyword was chemical peel that we're targeting. So we can see all of these, and if you click on it, you'll be able to see these are amazingly well done SEO friendly articles that then I can set up an automation and have this automatically published to my website, automatically published to social media, and then it automatically indexes these with Google as well. You can set up your automated indexer. So this is really kind of next level, and you can kind of see here you can set up an indexer here with Google. You can set up integration, so you can integrate with any website. So this will publish automatically, and this is really, really next level. This will analyze your website SEO as well. You can do lead generation with this, create lead magnets. So this tool is fantastic in terms of an SEO machine and creating amazing SEO generated blog articles that are going to be next level with just a couple of clicks, where your competition's having to pay tons of money for, and it's taking them tons more time to be able to do this. And here, if you go to customization, knowledge base, here's where you can add your own custom images for the blog articles. Here's where you can add your own knowledge base for whatever you want to do. So you can do your own knowledge base and then basically add in all of your brand assets. So you can add in PDF documents, your website, YouTube channel, plain text. So anything, all this stuff is going to be pulled into the articles. So it's going to be even more curated to your brand, less seemingly like it's written by AI. So again, this is next level. So this full strategy is what you can use right away to start helping your website rank, overtake your competition, and capitalize on their traffic. Get more traffic than they're getting, because you can do this much faster in just a couple of steps. So let me know what you think of this process. If you need that prompt, type prompt below. Again, if you want to try Arvo, there's a link below. If you want more details and you want a detailed walkthrough of Arvo, check out this video I did. But I'll be back soon with some more good stuff and some more automations for you guys.